welcome once again. This video is just a little bit of introduction about what's called magnetic resonance imaging. And what that is that big superconductive magnet, that big white magnet that you step into and have perhaps a body scan or a brain scan, or somehow it looks inside your body and produces a picture of what's going on. Formerly, this was known as nuclear magnetic resonance, but the title was deemed to be too frightening. So the word nuclear was removed, and it was simply thought of now, slightly inaccurately, as just something to do with magnets. So how does it work? Well, you might want to actually know this or know something about it, because you go to the hospital and you're told, well, lie down in the middle of this huge magnet, and are you wearing any metal? And you just happily do what you're told, or you might kind of wonder, well, what's going on here? But what you might not wonder is, well, how does it actually work? Well, there has been quite a lot of Nobel work done that has formed the basis of this. I won't name names, but essentially we are turning the body itself into a magnet. We are, at the atomic level, we are making each atom spin in a certain way, and by making each atom spin in a certain way, we're able to read the pattern, the way it spins, you might say. It's called a step gradient magnetic field, and I will come back to this in more detail later on. But effectively, by the creation of a magnetic differential, we create a step gradient magnetic field. And the way you can think of that is we are creating like a geographical landscape in the body magnetically. And by essentially, you can think, well, one bit might be higher, one bit might be lower in a magnetic sense. And so this landscape that we've created, we're reading it. So we create a pattern, and then we read the pattern we've created. And this is my interpretation, and a theoretical physicist would give a far more lucid explanation. I'm just doing it from memory, really. And one of the devices we use to help us interpret this magnetic landscape, as I call it, is what's called Fourier analysis. And Fourier analysis is essentially just a mathematical technique of reading waveforms. And I think I won't go perhaps into it in any more detail than that. Let me try and summarize then, really. So, step gradient magnetic field, and the way I would describe that is you're creating a magnetic landscape in your body, and then you're reading the magnetic landscape you've created. So, little parts of your brain are magnetically different from other little parts of your brain, and so we can read the changes, we can read the patterns that exist, and we can read, for example, slices as part of the brain, because we're doing things magnetically. And I think the only remark I would make in closing is that this sort of magnetic technique opens the door one day to magnetic surgery. currently we are reading the body using the magnet. There's no reason why, in principle, we could not write to the body instead of reading. So, in principle, having a tumor currently could be read magnetically. Well, reversing the system, theoretically, it could be written to. But that is beyond the current limits of technology. Anyway, that's just a rough crash course in magnetic resonance imaging, and I will perhaps do this video again at a later point in time, and I'm going to explain in a later video about MRI and the relationship between magnetic resonance imaging and gender. But this is an introductory video. Thank you very much.